Today I want to cover some little tips, tricks, combos for our Cyber Dragons as we are now into March of 2019. I'll go over like some OTK combos, just some good things to know. Making Boral Savage and Infinity, the Griffin board with Savage, a few things like that. I guess first, a quick thing. If you ever have both of these when you're in your, so you can set them both, and then when your opponent goes, especially if they try and pop your overflow, you can chain it to it. But otherwise, when your overflow goes off and you banish all your Cyber Dragons and then you pop a bunch of stuff on their field before the end of their turn, you can focus on monsters with that if you would like, because then you can activate Cyber Load Fusion and bring out Rampage and pop their back row that same turn, and they won't be able to activate their traps. Just a one fun quick little tip there. For our OTKs, more often than not, it's probably going to end up looking something similar to that. Deals 8,400 damage plus Seiger's attack, so you'll OTK sometimes, not all the time, but it's a really easy board to make. Cyber Dragon Core and Machine Dupe makes it. OG Cyber Dragon Core and Vire makes it. Just search out Rev System with your Core. So you have Core and Dupe. Summon your Core. Grab Rev System. Machine Dupe on your Core to special summon your 2 Cyber Dragons. Link these 2 off for Seiger. Rev System to bring back a Cyber Dragon. Then you overlay for Nova. Detach a material to special summon from your graveyard. And then you'll enter battle phase. Seiger, power up your Nova to 42. Attack a defense position or just get rid of a monster. Attack for 21. Banish 63. And you can do that during the damage step so they can't chain it. So then attacks are 63 plus the 21 for 84. If you get to this point and with your Dupe Core, if you open Rev System or Cyber Load Fusion, you can deal all that same damage, but then after Nova attacks and you have your Cyber Dragon banished, in case you didn't quite wipe them out but they have nothing to stop you from it, Overload Fusion and shuffle back Seiger and Cyber Dragon for Cyber Twin and attack for another 5,600 on top of it. So that's probably my most common and favorite OTK to go for. With the Cyber Load Fusion, of course, just 'cause you're dealing 14,000 damage off of 3 cards, so really nice. Another very common, well, I guess it depends how much overflow or overload fusions you play, but Seiger with Rampage, and you're going to get Seiger's attack. Rampage using its effect to dump 2 light machines to attack 2 extra times. And keep in mind with that, you can dump hers and Core, and if you didn't use hers as effect, you can get Core back to your hand then from your graveyard. So it's a nice way to recycle and get Core into your hand. But Seiger will power him up to 4,200, and he then attacks 3 times for 12,600. And any way to make that board would be any way to get out 2 Cyber Dragons and have Overload Fusion. So whether that's hers and Vire, Core and Vire, the original and Vire, any way to get out 2 Cyber Dragons to link into Seeger, Overload Fusion from your grave to make Rampage. So, like I said, depending how many Overload Fusion you play will kind of dictate how often you see that board. So, and Rampage is also a level 5, so if somehow you didn't OTK them and you can get out another level 5, you can go into a Nova Infinity play. If you don't, say if you only open one of your normal summonable Cyber Dragons Then it has to be a normal summon one, because if you open Overload and Foolish, you can Foolish Core, banish it, and summon from your deck. And then normal summon your Hers, Core, or Vire. You have 2 Cyber Dragons, then go off from there again. The Griffin board was our best going first board. Still debatable. Ending with them, ideally in zone 2, 3, 4, so they can't XZs or Synchro Summon or something into the extra monster zone that Griffin points to and be able to use its effects. Because you got your Negate, your Floodgate, and your basically power up for Infinity. Any opening hand that can summon 5 monsters can make this board. Obviously, if you open, depending how you open, like if you have the double Rev system, like, and you can get Seeger back on Rev system, sometimes you'll have Overflow set. That kind of just dictates by what you have in your hand. I'm not going to go over the 4 and 5 card combos because it's so many. Like I said, if you just look at your hand, any hand that can summon 5 monsters can do it. So most of the time it's going to involve Core and Machine Dupe. And right there is 4, because Core Search and Machine Dupe is 2. So then your extender will be number 5. So 3 card combos would be Core or Emergency, because then Emergency Search, Core, Machine Dupe, and an extender. Obviously if you used Emergency, your extender can't be Emergency. But otherwise Emergency, Hers, in which case you would search out Repair Plant or to get to Galaxy Soldier. And if you have Repair Plant or Galaxy Soldier, then you would search out Emergency to get to your Core. So these 4 basically would play out the same. I'll go over it. Just depending on, like I said, if you open one of these 2, you search Repair. You open one of those 2, search Emergency. So we'll just say you open Hers. Summon Core. Now you'd search out your Repair Plant. Machine Dupe, 2 Cyber Dragons, link them 2 off for your Saiger, then you can link them off for your Summon Sorceress. Now play your Repair Plant, and actually I like to use both effects here and shuffle an original Cyber Dragon back into the deck, so my next, if I draw another Machine Dupe, it is fully live. I can summon 2 machines yet, and that's when you'd grab your Galaxy Soldier, discarding your Hers, and then I'll just grab the Cyber Dragon from my graveyard. Sometimes I don't do it with bouncing back to the deck and whatnot if I really want to just deck thin and get to certain cards, but keep in mind that's something you can do if you have 3 Cyber Dragons in your grave. Discard Cyber Dragon to special summon Galaxy Soldier. Now Sorceress effect, targeting Soldier to summon your 3rd from the deck. Overlay for Nova. Then you detach to bring back Saiger from the graveyard. Link away Sorceress and Galaxy for your Griffin, and then XZ's Infinity. So pretty simple. One of the 3 card ways. Say you opened Vire or Rev System as your extender, then you just search out Rev System, and instead of Soldier searching your level 5s from the deck, you're just Rev Systeming your level 5s from your graveyard and recurring them. But essentially the same basic idea behind it. An interesting one that really threw me off at first, because when I see Repair Plant, I think Galaxy Soldier. But say you open the 3 spells, so right away it's like, okay, Core, Galaxy Soldier, but then how are you going to get to Hers? So you'd play Cyber Emergency, grab your Core, obviously, but now you had to think slightly different by it. Summon your Core and actually grab Rev System. Machine Dupe to summon your 2 Cyber Dragons. Link for Saiger. Use your Repair Plant to grab Fire. Now link away for Sorceress. Rev System back a Cyber Dragon, which then you can chain your Vire. Sorceress effect targeting Cyber Dragon, bring out a Galaxy Soldier. Overlay for Nova, detach a material to bring back your Siger. Now use your Vire and your Sorceress to summon Griffin, and then again Xyz Infinity over to the side. So, like I said, that's just an awkward one. Usually when you see Repair Plant, you're searching your Kaiju or your Soldier, not Vire. But that's just a way to... Sometimes you gotta think differently, and I just made a list of all the extenders essentially in the deck and just kind of paired them up one at a time and took all day and seen what worked and wrote it down and then played back through them until I understood it a lot better. Say you want to end with, however, Infinity and Savage in the main zones. It's any same card combo as the Sorceress board. So any of those starting hands I just showed you, it just plays out slightly different, obviously. So say Core, Machine Dupe, I don't know, Rev System. You summon your Core, you're going to grab Emergency. Play your Emergency to get your Vire. Machine Dupe your Core. 2 Cyber Dragons. Chain your Vire to that. Vire and Core, get rid of them for your Siger. Then I would overlay for Nova. Nova's effect, detach to special summon. Then you go summon Sorceress. And at this point, you'd use your Rev System then to bring back your Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. Sorceress target your Cyber Dragon, and you're going to bring out your Machine level 3 tuner, Birdman. Then you Synchro Summon those 2 for your Savage, and you equipped Siger to your Savage, giving him 4,050, I believe, with 2 negates. Move Infinity over. And then to protect it from contact fusing, you'd suck up your Sorceress with your Infinity. And if you open one more extender, you can, to get another monster on board, you could actually get rid of Sorceress to the grave before you make Savage. And I believe, but you'd have to make Infinity over before you get rid of Sorceress. And then that actually wouldn't work, so don't listen to me there. If you get your... there's a way that I made Griffin up in this zone so that I have the 3 negate and the extra 150 attack for Savage, and then you suck up Griffin with Infinity. I'd have to play around with it more to figure it out again, because I'm having a little brain fart at the moment. But so that's how you get out Savage Infinity. If your opponent just really can't stop you, which it does happen, and you open up just a great hand, that could potentially be your ending board. We go with Infinity up here since Mega Fleet probably not going to be an issue, but just to be safe, it uses a Cyber Dragon monster, not Cyber Dragon. So if these 2 are flipped, they'll use your Infinity and your Savage, and now you have no negates, at least this way, and they take these 2, you still have your negate with Savage. So how do we get to that? More often than not, it's going to be a 5-card combo. Really, the only way it's not is if you're playing Cyber Network and you banish with Overload if you open it, and then you use Network to essentially soul charge them back. If you're playing 3 Overload fusions, I think Network is absolutely worth the 1 spot since it's searchable. But I do not play 3 Overload fusions, so I'm not going to try and rely on hard drawing Machine Dupe and a 1 of Overload to justify playing Cyber the network, but that is an option and it does work. So more OTK based builds can just play one network and potentially have a great 3-card opening board. So one example of how we can do this, I'm going to skip the spells out just to get rid of some extra drawing. Obviously, hers could be emergency, soldier could be repair plant. So say you just open an absolutely great hand. You know, you got 1 monster, 2 searches, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not going to happen a lot, just being realistic. But since we're so flexible, like Rev System or Vi or Soldier or Repair, hers or Emergency, Machine Dupe, Core. So Machine Dupe's really the hard one to get into in that situation. So Summon Core. In this case, I'd search out a second Rev System if you have it, but if this is your hand and you don't have Emergency, you could always get Emergency to get to Vire for that extra extender. But I'm going to go for Siger protected by Rev System, so. And then you Machine Dupe your Cyber Dragon Core. Link away for Siger. Hopefully I don't mess this up because I had not practiced it all yet again, but link for Sorceress. Discard your hers to special summon Soldier. Make sure you, actually for this, you're going to want to do it all on the left side because you need to play Siger in zone 5 because it's arrow pointing. So discard your hers, then you search out your Cyber Dragon and Soldier. Discard your Cyber Dragon. Don't go into Sork's other zone. And I mean, I guess you could make Nova off to the side, but just remember because Sork has to summon Birdman. So then Rev System Siger over here in zone 5. Sork's effect, summon your Birdman. Rev System again to, doesn't really matter, you're just bringing one back so you can go for your Griffin. Then XZ's your Nova up above Griffin, detaching a material from Nova to special summon a Cyber Dragon. So now you have your 5 and your 3. So you can make your Savage, equipping Summon Sorceress, and then overlay your Infinity on top of it. So not something to rely on, but if you get the hand to do it, remember 7. Lucky number 7 gets you to this board. Lucky number 5 gets you Savage Infinity or the Griffin board with Infinity. If you want the Griffin board with Savage, it is doable, but you have to open up a hand that has 6 summons. So at that point, it's using an extra card to end with a higher beat stick, essentially. Siger will just protect himself in that case, your Floodgate and your couple negates. I guess I'd rather keep the extra card in my hand and have a negate that isn't on a token or a counter count, because Infinity can just do it every turn and then suck up an attack position monster and just keep his tokens, if we want to call him that, where Savage, once he runs out, he runs out. And because Siger powers up Infinity probably more than your Savage will be anyway, so that'd be a 4-card if you wanted to end like that. 4-card combo, 6 monsters. So I guess just remember the Griffin board, 5 cards. Savage, Infinity, summon 5 cards. The Works, 7 unless you're playing Network. I mean, I guess it's still summoning 7 monsters, but instead of 5 cards, it's 3 card. And those are really the main combos. Like I said, keep in mind small things like hers sending, not hers, Repair Plant, putting a Cyber Dragon back in your deck if you have 3 in the grave to make your other Machine Dupes live. I've resolved 3 Machine Dupe in one duel before. So Repair Plant doing that. Cyber Load Fusion also making your other machine dupes live, shuffling back into the deck. Rampage's effect to dump, so you can grab your core. Infernal Reckless Summon. I'm actually playing one right now without Noster. For me, it's essentially a machine dupe, a fourth one. Going second more often than not, they have a monster out, so it's live, and we have so many ways to special summon via Nova. Keep in mind, if you use Sorceress to summon, its effects are negated, so you'd only be able to summon 2 more Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Hers, Vire, if you're playing it, since its power-up would be negated, but I doubt you're playing more than one. 1-for-1, Monster Reborn, your Rev system. We just have so many ways to set it off. And actually, if you can make Summon Sorceress and give your opponent a monster, you can do it on turn 1, which I've done a couple times, and then they usually just scoop because you get so far ahead with a board and they just can't do anything. And if they are in a mirror match, it is mandatory. It's special summon all with the same special summon all cards with the same name as that summon from your hand, deck, grave. Your opponent selects one from their side. It's not can, so it is mandatory. So if you're in the mirror match, they have to summon all their Cyber Dragons from the deck then, and you can just contact them all away and get rid of all their Cyber Dragons before they even get to play. Obviously, they're in the grave yet, so if they have a way to get it back from the grave, you gotta be leery of that, but it can just put you in a really good position. So these are some of our combos, what to do, how to do them, and how to get there. And like I said, there's 4 and 5 card combos to do some of these, and I'm just not going to go into all the details because just remember 5 monsters, 7 monsters, and 6 if you want that. Them are the keys.